This is Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and today we're being a little bit adventurous. We've got a beta ROM of Ice Cream Sandwich for the Samsung Galaxy Skyrocket right here. Now this is a Samsung build of Ice Cream Sandwich that leaked, but it's actually very complete, works perfectly, so we're going to let you take a look at it right now so you can see what you can expect from Ice Cream Sandwich on the Galaxy S2 Skyrocket, and probably by extension the Samsung Galaxy S2, since they're almost identical in terms of software. So this is the Samsung Galaxy S2 Skyrocket that we know and love. Came out, last November, and it's an LTE high-end Android phone on AT&T with a 4.5-inch display. And we know that the HTC Vivid recently got an official Ice Cream Sandwich Android OS 4.0 upgrade over the air, but the poor Skyrocket, its LTE Android companion on AT&T, is still waiting. Well, a nice fellow named Dream Gears, who's a ROM developer who's contributed on XDA Developers, totally reputable, got his hands on a Samsung leak of the Ice Cream Sandwich ROM for the Galaxy S2 Skyrocket, and that's what we're running right now. So this is not an official over-the-air, but if you're interested in doing this yourself, you can go ahead and head over to XDA Developers and you can find out how to do it. He made it very easy, really. It's just a one-click installation. It has Odin, which is the flashing package that Samsung phones use, all built in there. Pretty foolproof. One thing though, it's going to wipe out the contents of your phone. Take your SD card out first because it would also wipe that. So keep that in mind. You're going to have everything whacked out, and you probably don't want to do a complete restore because you might restore stuff that's not so compatible with Ice Cream Sandwich on top. Anyway, if you're okay with that, give it a try yourself, because it's really very polished and it works just fine. The only thing I've noticed is the battery life is not as good as it used to be. Skyrocket actually had pretty good battery life for an LTE phone, and we are in an LTE coverage area, so there's that to take into account. Anyway, this is the Samsung Beta ROM, and the first thing you're going to notice is, my God, it looks just like the Skyrocket running Gingerbread, pretty much, doesn't it? And that's too bad, because Ice Cream Sandwich has some nice UI fine points and some modernizations, and you're really not going to see many of them here. Now, we noticed that on the HTC Vivid that HTC had actually kind of overwritten some of the UI in Ice Cream Sandwich, and in some cases it can be justifiable. For example, we still have these hardware buttons down here, so we don't really need the software launcher buttons that replicate the functionality of these right here. And otherwise, I thought that HTC did a pretty tasteful job, though still really covering up a lot of Ice Cream Sandwich. And here, it's pretty much just, well, not going to really notice it. You'll get the improvements under the hood, though. Speed's a lot better. Quadrant went up 400 points, which is pretty significant. And SunSpider JavaScript test actually got faster by about 250 points. So certainly have that, and a lot of modernization under the hood. We've got our standard Samsung widgets, everything's still here. You've got your social hub, the weather, all that kind of stuff that you would expect. And Samsung's slightly customized icons there. Now if we want to go into settings, this is what you see if you tap settings. So you can add stuff, go to your wallpaper, you can do a search, you can control your notifications, and you can go to actual settings, which is what we want. And you can still see these humongous menus that Samsung really loves here. It's quite a stark contrast to HTC, who has much smaller menu structure. And in fact, here we have the Vivid on the left and the Skyrocket on the right. And you can see the very different look there in terms of this being a lot smaller. And this looks a lot more, the Vivid, like the actual stock Android Ice Cream Sandwich settings listing. A couple of goodies. Here we are in wireless. Right here we've got our quick access to radios and stuff like that. And you've also got that from a swipe down. It's one of the nice things that Samsung does. It gives you quick access to bunch of your basic settings. But if we take a look at more, look what's here. NFC has appeared as a setting. Now you can use this to share information with NFC enabled computers, of which there aren't a whole lot in the world, or NFC enabled phones, of which there are a few. But I hear that you actually need a SIM that has some kind of NFC e-commerce stuff allowed on the SIM to actually walk into your local 7-Eleven and make a purchase. Haven't tried it myself, so I can't say, but that's what I understand. We've got USB utilities here. It does do mass storage mode still, thank goodness, for those of us who use Macs. And we've got the usual Wi-Fi Direct here for Samsung. So that's nice. NFC is actually, looks like here. And here's the rest of your settings. We don't have some of the settings that you see in a vanilla Ice Cream Sandwich installation, but most of them are here. And you've got your developer options, which is one of the more important ones for you geeky folks. And just so you can see, indeed, here it is, Android 4.03. I have to say the phone feels a little bit faster running Ice Cream Sandwich, and that's definitely a good thing. Not that Samsung phones are ever slow, but Works nicely. And here you've got pretty much the same launcher you saw in TouchWiz before. Works just fine. And all the standard AT&T or apps are there for better or worse, so you can remove some of them. You get the AT&T Navigator, AT&T Code Scanner, Yellow Pages. You can remove Yellow Pages, yay. And a bunch of other stuff like that. And Samsung's existing software is here yet again. They're all shared DLNA. Obviously all their widgets are here, and they have some customized stuff for note-taking, like Memo right here, and diary applications, and the Media Hub is on board. So it's pretty much all the software that you had before. It's still here now. Of course, when the over-the-air official update comes, it's not going to wipe out all of your existing apps and data, so something to keep in mind for those of you who want to keep your apps and data. That should be non-destructive. It always is. Samsung made a couple of strange and less than convenient choices here. Here's the phone dialer, and look, there's no shortcut to contacts now. That's really not so convenient, because I never kept a shortcut to contacts on my phone desktop because I knew I could always get it quickly through the dialer. Now if you want to go ahead and hit Menu, and then you can choose contacts and you can get there. And then here's what the contacts looks like. Not too much changed from what we saw before. And there's what calendar looks like. Again, it's pretty similar to what we saw previously on the Galaxy S2 Skyrocket. Now we're in the camera application, and again, not too much has changed. This is my own personal Skyrocket. I've been using it for, what, like 5 months or so, so I tend to notice changes pretty quickly. But here's how you switch between photo and video, and here's how you switch between front and back cameras. There's your flash. There's a shortcut to gallery, the last picture I've taken, and settings brings you all your other settings. Scene modes, exposure value, focus mode, and all that kind of stuff. And if we want to take a picture of my wonderful hand, I can balance it. See how fast it takes a picture. Very quick. Not that it was particularly slow before, but quite quick. Check out those amazing shots in gallery. You can see the speed's really good. Here's a slightly more exciting shot of our wonderful cat. Pinch zoom speeds are really great, so I'm seeing a whole lot of speed improvement on an already fast phone and ice cream sandwich. And here we are in the Gmail client that's also been updated. Speeds are pretty good. You can show pictures and not show pictures, of course, too. So we're going to say show pictures. And we're using the LTE network right now, so that's pretty good. If you want to swipe between messages, that's how you do it, just like that. Big swipe across the top. Sometimes you scroll the message a little bit, but that's how it works. And Adobe Flash, of course, is now available for Ice Cream Sandwich, so check out the stock internet browser which supports that. And you can also see what Samsung's done with that. If we hit the menu button, you can see options, including the new desktop view, new for Ice Cream Sandwich, and we still have their automatic brightness settings and their sub-brightness settings for the browser, which is an interesting idea, but mostly I just find that annoying. I wish they would just stick with one system brightness. Haha, now we can see it. It's a little brighter. And the speed's just fine. And we'll check out a flash video of the Envy Spectre Glass Ultrabook. It is playing just fine. And since we've got ICS on board, that means we can run the Google Chrome beta. It's the Chrome web browser for your Android phone. Once again, we'll load our beautiful website. You can see how fast that is, right? You know, I've been using Chrome beta on the Asus ePad Transformer Prime, which also runs Ice Cream Sandwich, and I didn't notice that much of a speed increase, but so far on both the Vivid and the Skyrocket, it's really nice. Does a good job of laying out, also very fast. This one handles HTML5 video, but not Adobe Flash. So, nice to have a second option there that is a very desktop-like browser. You're not going to want to use this for your Yahoo app site or something like that, but anytime you're going to a rich site, definitely worth the experience. And while some of the nicer screen lock features like quick access to the camera aren't here in this, we do have the nifty new security settings. If we go there, it's under screen lock. And you can just swipe it to lock it, or you can use the new pattern unlock and the face unlock. And by default, that's timed to wait 5 minutes before it makes you unlock using face unlock again. So don't think it's not working. If you immediately turn off and try it again, just change the timer settings on that. Now, for those of you who can't take all the touch whizziness on Ice Cream Sandwich, we've also installed Nova Launcher, and this is what it looks like. There are several third-party launchers that work with Ice Cream Sandwich or emulate Ice Cream Sandwich look. And you can see here, suddenly we're a lot cleaner. We have this little customizable bar here of quick launch icons, and this one takes you to all your applications. Pretty straightforward, and you're still going to have the Samsung kind of icons here and stuff like that, but here we get that separation that we saw in the Samsung Galaxy Nexus running just vanilla Android Ice Cream Sandwich between apps and widgets, for example. But you're still going to get the Samsung style pop-up instead of a grid listing. And also we've got our little menu bar here, which is something that you see in basic Ice Cream Sandwich. And since I have both running, it's actually giving me the opportunity to choose which I want there. So you can see it's very clean style, and I saw the AccuWeather widget here, but the Samsung widgets are not available like Social Hub and stuff like that if you're going to run a third-party launcher. But it's here for at least changing your desktop look and that kind of thing. So that's the Samsung Galaxy S2 Skyrocket running the leaked Ice Cream Sandwich build from Samsung for the phone. Now it's probably going to be a while before we see that, even though I find this to be fairly polished, other than the fact, well, battery life's a little bit shorter and it runs a little bit warmer than it used to. I hear that this build hasn't even gone through to AT&T yet, so probably there's going to be some more testing. It might be another month, but honestly, who knows? We don't know when this might be out for you guys. But if you're eager to try it now, again, you can go over to XDA Developers and or RootsWiki and try it out for yourself. I'm Lisa from Mobile Tech Review. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and visit mobiletechreview.com.